Welcome into episode 79 of Birds vs. Boys, the reaction show after week 4 of the NFL season. I'm Aidan. I'm here with Vince. Kevin will be in later. We have a story with that as well. An Eagles loss that was to be expected, and then a Cowboys win that was probably expected as well. So the reactions on one side do not match the reactions on the other. Vince is joining me, not just producing, but doing double time today because Kevin was at the Eagles game. So very Birds versus Boys of him. So he has recorded his own information in regards to the Cowboys game that I think he's watching on a tape delay. But in the meantime, we have our information. We've got our analysis of the Eagles-Chiefs game, and he will be in later with his Cowboys reaction. I'm sure he'll be quite joyous, just like last week.
I think he's gonna be very Mike Tag about it.
Yeah, very high energy, like slapping knees.
And he was by himself, so I haven't heard it yet. I can't wait to hear what this sounds like.
I know. What's funny is that, so you are obviously the producer, so you'll hear it before it goes. I will be just like every other listener, or I'm just going to be listening just like them for the first time when it debuts and comes out tomorrow. And I just can't wait to be shaking my head and just be like, yeah, he's right. I hate what I like about this Cowboys team. Like, he's going to name all these good things about this team. I'm like, damn it. Not a bad point.
Like, oh, Micah is fantastic.
Yeah. Imagine, like, investing in linebackers. So imagine that. Like, sometimes it works out. Do we want to start with that? Kind of brings us into the lead with the Eagles. Do we want to start with the bad or the good? Because there seemed to be a good amount of both.
We can start with this real quick.
I'm sorry I can't be here long. I just found my childhood starter jacket at my mother's house. I'm here for dinner. Got stuff going on. But I can't imagine being Aidan and chasing stat lines and not W's. Could never be me. All I do is chase wins. Seven catches, 122 yards. Just empty stats. It's just empty stats. Chasing stat lines. I'm chasing wins over here. That's all I'm doing. Chasing dubs, baby. 3 dubs in a row coming. Hope you guys have fun. Enjoy my recap. It was a great time at the Eagles game yesterday. By the way, Eagle fans, obnoxiously dumb. Just so loud when the offense is on the field. So you got Jalen Hurts like this. Like, shut up. Even the people in my section, the season ticket holders would turn around and people would be like, shut up. It was unbelievable. Could you tell on TV?
You could see Jalen Hurts like trying to get them to quiet down. Part of the problem was they were screaming at the play calling.
It was so loud. So loud.
I don't remember us ever having that issue before where we're too loud on offense. I don't know what happened.
I think there was a lot of it was a beautiful day. I fell over. Beautiful day. A lot of beers were flowing, and I don't know. It was great. Meow. It was a great time though. Saw our guy E-Rock, Sean Brace. It was good. It was good. But yeah, I have a whole segment, so we're good. I miss you. Love you.
All right.
Dinner's good.
Looks good.
Look at this. Jacket. Still fits, huh?
Kind of.
Probably like a lollipop in here or something. Oh, we're good.
You know you would have had to eat in the lollipop.
Huh?
You would have definitely had to eat in the lollipop.
Oh yeah. I'm a fat kid. Lollipops would all be eaten. Okay. Empty stats, man. Chase wins. Chase wins on stat line.
I hate when I'm in on stuff with him and you don't know about it because I always feel so bad.
I didn't realize that he was coming on. Was he back there the whole time?
No, he jumped in. Like, I texted him when we started, and he had the link from when I shared it with you guys earlier.
There you go. I like it though. So, like I said, I knew he was going to be full of jubilation and joy at 3-1. I can't believe I'm empty stats guy because like the Dak Prescott supporters that are just like, well, he threw for 4,000 yards. We didn't make the playoffs, but he threw for 4,000 yards. Like, now I'm empty stats guy. Is this what the world has become?
He's gone too, by the way. Definitely gone and not in the background if you want to start talking shit.
Well, he could be he could listen to this. We argued about it last night. I literally argued about with him. So we could start with the good. We could start with the bad. Devontae Smith was the good for me. So Mr. Empty Stats himself, 7 receptions for 122 yards. First Eagles rookie to do so since Jordan Matthews let's hope that goes a little bit better than Jordan Matthews did.
Yeah, I was about to say awesome. He's just like Jordan Matthews.
Yeah, I don't know if Jordan Matthews went badly. I feel like he was kind of what everyone expected. Like he was all right.
Yeah.
And everyone expected him to be all right. So I feel like that kind of just went how it was supposed to go. So yeah, Devontae Smith is the good. Do we want to go good or bad?
Let's start bad. Let's start this on a bad vibe so we can close it on a good one.
All right. We'll make the bad segment shorter. And I think it's very easy because we keep talking about the same issues. So it probably is easier to go bad and then good.
Yeah. I can start real quick.
Yeah, go for it.
Andre Dillard is the perfect replacement for Jordan Peters.
Yes. Jason Peters.
I don't know why I said Jordan Hicks in my head.
So, yeah, you are right. The illegal man downfield and penalties that he incur are like the new Jason Peters false start, where if you see a flag on the field on offense, you already know what it is.
Yeah, it's false start, number 70, whatever. And it's, drive killer. And it's always on like a 60-yard gain. It's never on a bad play. It's never on like a 3-yard rush. It's always on like a bomb down the field.
It's always on the play where you're like, okay, a first down. We're really moving. And then he's like, not so fast. I ran 5 yards down the field before anyone could touch the ball. To me, like, I don't even know if it's him at this point. Like, I just feel like it's like the offensive timing where they just don't have it down because clearly they keep doing the same thing. And they do try to get the ball out of their hands quickly. So I'm assuming that plays a large factor where he's going to block right away because the pass is happening right away. And it's just leading to all these illegal man downfield penalties and other penalties. And like you said, just drive killers.
Most penalized team in the league, right?
Yeah. On pace to set a record.
I feel like that's every year. It's always us and the Raiders, the least disciplined teams in the league.
I feel like we've been pretty good. The Raiders, oh my God, yeah, they are up there every single year. I think they were the most penalized team last year.
At least 2017, it was us and the Raiders that were like leading the league.
Oh, 2016. 2017, we won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I think we were still really bad with penalties that year.
Oh, I don't. I would have to go back and check to see.
May have been 18, actually.
I think it was 18 was really bad. 18 was really bad. I remember that. Now this year, like. Let's get into the reasons why. One, there's no talent. And when you have no talent, you force things. Two, when you're down 4 offensive linemen and you're playing with backups and you're playing with a guy coming off IR and you tell that guy who's been on IR, hey, you're going to start at guard and then your tackle isn't there that day. So, okay, now you got to bump out the tackle and we're going to slide another guy into guard. And the other guy who played right guard last week is going to flip the left guard. And, oh, yeah, our starting left tackle still isn't there. So the guy who's slotted to play guard, he's going to slide out to tackle this time. Come on. I mean, that's just not sustainable. It's just not like a way you can function in the NFL. It's going to lead to massive issues. I'm surprised how well
it's not going to lead to massive issues. It has already led to massive issues.
We are there. You're right. I am surprised at how well they moved the ball and didn't get Jalen Hurts killed. There were times where he was flushed out of the pocket and he's doing that thing again where everyone knows where he's rolling. But still, I thought for the most part, they did an all right job. Now, the penalties, I don't know if it's them. I don't know if they're running these plays and just don't have the timing down. But it's been disastrous because, like you said, it feels like anytime there's a play of massive positivity and momentum, it's coming back.
Yeah, you want to play a fun game real quick? What does that game look like with Carson Wentz?
Well, we probably lose 42-16. I think we're 2 touchdowns less.
Yeah, I think you're right. What part of his body does he hurt?
Oh, man, that's a good question. Shoulder. Probably shoulder. He's probably flushed out like Hurts is and can't make it to the sideline like Hurts does and tries to throw it and somebody lands on him while he does it.
Even at his most mobile, he was never as fast as Jalen Hurts is now. He definitely would have got crushed.
Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure. We don't have to do the Colts and Carson thing, but they did beat the Dolphins, which helps us. We maintain 3 first-round picks for now. I'm very worried. The Titans lost to the Jets, which is like losing to an XFL team, honestly. That division is bad. It is so bad. I don't know if we can maintain that Colts top 10 pick, which I guess is a good thing because if they're winning and Wentz is healthy, that only benefits us. But I doubt that one stays in the top 10.
Well, I mean, we can get our own top 10 pick at this point.
It's not. The problem is, I think we're going to end up being better too. Like, I fully went into the season expecting to be 1-3. So people who are up in arms, I don't truly understand it.
Yeah, that's insane. I can't believe how upset people are. Like, who thought this was going to be a good team?
Yeah, I thought that was the whole point. Like, I thought we all knew we were going to be bad, and this is a rebuilding year. I think Atlanta skewed it, but at the same time, if you wanted to know about Atlanta, come to this podcast. They again blew it. It was another classic red zone day for the Falcons where it was like Washington, win probability, 11%. Washington obviously wins because that's what happens to the Falcons every time that graphic comes up on the screen. I wanted to get a screen grab of it because as soon as they went to the win percentage and the win probability percentage, you knew what was going to happen. And immediately after that, Washington scored a touchdown, got the 2-point conversion, and it was 30-28, and then they scored again and won the game. It is remarkable, the Falcons.
It's insane how the clip that they're able to blow leads at is incredible.
It's every week. It's anytime you have a one. I complain about my teams a lot. I genuinely don't think I could be a Falcons fan. I mean, just the way they lose games it's not meant for a sane mental health like human being. Not good.
Do you remember when they were in the Super Bowl and everyone was like, "What celebrities are they going to get to come to this game?"
They have a lot of rappers.
Yeah, but like, no one's really like repping Atlanta. Like, people are repping Atlanta. No one's repping the Falcons.
That's true. A lot of Hawks guys. They love basketball. The Braves are like kind of in Atlanta.
Yeah, Deion Sanders made them cool for a minute.
Yeah, pretty much. That was about it. So back to the Eagles, more bad, and then we'll quick move on because we want to, there was a lot of good. The linebackers are atrocious. We touched on it earlier, the Micah Parsons thing, and how just like not investing in linebackers has come back to bite them again and again and again. Nobody is touching running backs on opposing teams until they're 6 to 7 yards past the line of scrimmage. Clyde Edwards-Helaire over 100 yards. Tony Pollard and Zeke Elliott combined over 100 yards. I believe going back to 49ers had over 100 yards rushing. This used to be a thing where the Eagles never gave up 100 yards rushing. Now it's a guarantee every single week. It's bad. And aside from Javon Hargrave, there's really and Josh Sweat, but Josh Sweat's more of a pass rusher. There's just really no one who can provide a line of defense or a wall of defense up there.
Cox.
Thank you. That is a story. I have a solution for that. They lined up to start the second half and put Fletcher Cox on the outside. I didn't see who they put in the defensive tackle spot, but they basically played Fletcher Cox at the defensive end. They immediately got a pressure on the quarterback and then did not go back to it. I would like to see him play a little bit more at the end position just to switch things up. When you're going to run at work, change your routine. Get coffee at a different time. Go on a walk on your lunch break or get a fucking sack. One of these things could work to get you out of your rut. Line up at defensive end a few times. I think it could work. It worked on that play. They never went back to it. Just try to change things up because it looks a little bit predictable. He's either getting double teamed or just not flat out winning. Let's change it up a little bit.
Play him at linebacker. See if that works.
Yeah, there you go. It can't get much worse than it is now. Eric Wilson is just off. I didn't have any expectations going in. I'm not stating any facts that we don't know. Alex Singleton is a great guy. He tackled a lot. He also is the guy. Every team has one of these guys on defense where they do not care at all about CTE. There was a play where Alex Singleton went full force. The tackle was already made, so he completely missed the Chiefs player and went head on head, helmet on helmet into Avonte Maddox, and I think gave him a concussion because Avonte Maddox was down for a few minutes and was like, whoa. Like you could see the Chiefs player try to help him up, and he went up and went back down, and that is my brain doesn't work anymore. So Alex Singleton is that guy. But yeah, I mean, that's
Alex Singleton is everything. Alex Singleton is everything Nate Gary thought he was.
Yes. That is like, a great analysis.
Yeah, because Nate Gary, he was always just out there just trying his hardest. He was never standing still. He was always going somewhere. It was just the wrong spot.
It was usually just he was going in the wrong direction. Alex Singleton at least has a nose for the football, and he's a maniac. He just wants to tackle everything. But still, I mean, you look around the league and look at good teams, and I just don't get the lack of emphasis. I never have, and it's more glaring than usual that the linebacker and just the lack of emphasis on the position is killing them.
Do you remember when the Phillies were terrible? It was
the season ended yesterday.
The last decade. It was the 1 year you have to send someone to the All-Star game in the MLB. So they sent Pat Neshek. Do you remember that?
Yes. Oh yeah.
Nate Gary Alex Singleton is like the Pat Neshek of this team. More so last year than this year. Yeah.
Yeah. Of the Eagles defense. Yep. I totally agree. Just like somebody's got to do it. We got to send somebody out there.
Someone is the best on this team. It just happens to be this guy.
It just happens to be him. Yeah. So that's the issue there. The Darius Slay thing, like, why would any star athlete want to fucking play in this city ever? Like, he goes out. Anybody who watched the game could see that Steve Nelson had an awful day. It was bad. Tyreek Hill's final touchdown, out of an act of desperation, they brought a corner blitz. Anthony Harris gets turned around, the safety. He looked lost trying to cover Tyreek Hill. And then you've got guys from a certain station in Philadelphia. We all know who it is because this is their entire shtick. It's so old. I wish they would have got shut down with Facebook and Instagram. Comes out and says like Darius Slay is the new Byron Maxwell. Are you even watching the game? Are you that dumb, or are you just trying to troll? Because I can't even tell. They've perfected the troll that much. I don't even think it's a troll. I just genuinely think people at that station are that dumb.
My God, who even listens to the radio?
I don't think anyone listens to the radio. We're podcasters, so we know. It's the tweets, and it's just like, I know you watched the game. Did you see Darius Slay on Tyreek Hill a lot? Because I didn't, and that's one thing we look at going forward is just being like, hey, just follow him everywhere. But that clearly wasn't the plan. It looked like they dropped back into the zone a lot, and we're just like, all right, we're not going to give up a home run. Just keep everything in front of you.
Yeah, I don't know. It was pretty clear what was going on, and I stayed off of Twitter today. I don't like going on Twitter the day after a loss, so I didn't see all that. And obviously, I'm not listening to the radio because I'm not 65. But I'm not even a little bit surprised to hear that was the take this morning. Out of everything that happened yesterday, that was the take.
Yeah, and Darius Slay, obviously, he loves Twitter more than most of us love Twitter. He's on Twitter a lot. So the combination of people calling him out for a game in which he really wasn't at fault and him being on Twitter a lot obviously led to a mess. And now you've got the conversation like, all right, yeah, you played well, but the team lost, so it doesn't matter. So that's something to keep an eye on because, like, why would you want to be here? All you do is get criticized. I totally get it. But yeah, I mean, the defense is bad. If they have potentially 3 first-round picks, if they go the same route as the Cowboys did and just invest all of their early draft picks into defense, I'm not going to be opposed in any form or fashion.
I don't know how you don't. What do you still need on offense? That's going to be an immediate fix-all. That'll replace 3 defensive players.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I'm sure there's offensive talent in this draft. Like, you'd like another wide receiver like Jahan Dotson out of Penn State, Chris Olave out of Ohio State. Apparently, there's a center at Iowa who's like a generational center. If we could go from Jason Kelsey to that kid,
that's the only thing I'll take. Yeah, like, O-line is the only thing I'll take over defense. You can take O-line anywhere. I'll never be mad.
Don't need a quarterback. Do not even try to sell me on Spencer Rattler. It's not going to happen. Probably not Sam Howell either. But so, yeah, if they go 3 defensive first-round picks, you will not hear a peep out of me unless they reach on somebody like they did with Marcus Smith.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, 3 defensive picks I think is the way to go because even if 2 of them miss, one of them is going to be good.
At least if you get one generational one, that's the purpose of the draft picks. You know, just
honestly, give me 3 linebackers. I don't give a shit.
Yeah,
draft the same position 3 times, and
you could.
I mean, linebackers turn into utility guys anyway. So
there you go. I am all in on just drafting defense, and then when you're done with those 3 first-round picks, if you have them, drafting defense, go back for more in the second round. We'll be fine. We'll be fine if we hit our picks. We know what we need to do. Someone else needs to be making the picks, but I'm confident. Like, we know at least, like, it's very clear every week. 'Cause this is a good transition to the good. we can tell what the weaknesses are. Like you can pinpoint specific things. The same good keeps happening and the same bad keeps happening. At least it's not every week inconsistent. Like, oh, Devontae Smith didn't play well. We might need another wide receiver. Like, he's been steady. Dallas Goedert's looked good. So you're like, all right, we probably have our tight end. Oh, Kenny Gainwell, that was a good pickup in the backfield. So at least like the same good things keep happening.
Yeah, so like if this team was a car, like you when your car breaks down and you don't know anything about cars. I don't know anything about cars. My car breaks down. I'm like, okay, I hear this one thing's wrong. Just got to fix this one thing. That's this team. You know what's wrong. You don't got to scrap the whole thing. It's not something inside the transmission that doesn't work. Well, if the front office is inside the transmission, that's also a problem. But we're going to put a Band-Aid on that for now because transmissions are expensive to fix.
Yeah,
so we're going to put a Band-Aid on that for now.
The Pep Boys that works on the car is also the problem.
Yeah. So, you know what's wrong with the car. You got to fix the fan belt. The fan belt's the linebacking crew.
Yeah.
Give me a new fan belt.
Improve. Yeah. I don't even know like car terms, but yeah.
I don't even know if that's a real thing.
Secondary, linebacker, give me them all. Name car parts after them. The carburetor.
Yeah. I
want a CV2.
We talked a long time about the bad stuff.
Yeah, but let's get to the good then, because let's talk good.
It's also kind of good news, I guess. You know what's wrong. You know what's wrong, so you can fix it.
It's the same stuff that in the offseason you were worried about. You're worried about now. You know what you have to fix. That's fine. I'd rather it be that than its inconsistency every week. And I think what's best about this week was Jalen Hurts. He went toe-to-toe with Patrick Mahomes. Obviously lost, but he played really well. 0 punts. They moved the ball, and aside from one turnover on downs, they scored on every possession. Except, I'm sorry. They also lost 45 yards on one play going into that. That was awful. But for the most part, looked great. Bounced back well. That Oklahoma offense was back. That's exactly what it should be with him. Threw for 380, I believe, and had close to 50 rushing yards. You can't ask for and no turnovers. Can't ask for much more out of a quarterback. I thought he played remarkably well in a needed bounce back spot.
Yeah, so I said this in the group chat yesterday. I went back to look for it so I could phrase it the same way. So our offense scored 30 points but looked like shit, and that's a win in my book.
Yeah, they would look – it was the red zone. It was literally just the red zone. They moved the ball so well. I swear to God, they must have been in the red zone 28 times. It just felt like they were constantly in the red zone. Just from the beginning of the game, they went all the way down, scored 3, and did it in a hurry. I just felt like they played half the game in the red zone and settled for field goals against one of the greatest offenses of all time. Then that's where it comes in.
Watching red zone must have been like exhausting yesterday. It's the Eagles and Chiefs again.
Yeah, honestly, you would have watching that if you weren't paying attention and you saw the Eagles in the red zone of their mount, you would have said that this game is 56-49, just the way it was going and the amount that they were in the red zone. Settle for field goals, which continues to be an issue. But yeah, they had one that got called back because of an awful penalty. The J.J. Arcega-Whiteside thing. So I don't get Charles Davis just like saying, oh, yeah, that was a great call. So JJ never made, and I'm all for trashing J.J. Arcega-Whiteside at any chance I can get. He played a great game. Special teams, forced a fumble, blocked well. That he ran a perfect route. He never made contact with Zach Ertz defender. Yes, he had his forearm out. You're allowed to do that. He didn't extend it. So who cares? He ran a slant route. It was great. So I thought he played well, and that's a shame that they called that one back. That was a bad call. Andre Dillard brings a touchdown back. They must have had 4 touchdowns called back. It's honestly remarkable. And they Jalen Hurts missed Zach Ertz on one too. So they got to get that cleaned up. But that's something like with a young team. I think I said this last week with the mistakes. If you're doing that in December, fire alarms, red alert, bad. Right now, I get it. I feel like they're continuing to learn and grow. And the fact that a young team like this is putting together the offense that they are, where they can give you 400 yards in a week, I'm not sad.
Yeah, it's good to see that they're figuring it out and not just completely clueless.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
You can tell they sort of have an idea of what they want the offense to be, and they're just polishing the edges.
Yes, correct. I thought last week they looked clueless and it was a disaster, and this week was a complete 180. They moved the ball well. They got the ball into their playmakers' hands, less Miles Sanders, but Goddard played well. Devontae Smith, like they were trying to create moments for Reagor. There was one play where he lined up in the backfield, and that was an awesome play. I loved it, and it worked. So just like getting the ball in space for your playmakers, which is like the whole point of spread offenses in college football. The other thing, Miles Sanders, he does need more carries, but there are so many passes that are around the line of scrimmage. The passing game is just like an extension of the running game. I would argue just to use Miles Sanders more as a pass catching back because they seem to be doing it really well with Gainwell. And I think Miles Sanders had 4 receptions, so I'm not opposed to just using him in the passing game more.
Yeah, I don't hate that either. I mean, you have to be able to catch the ball in the NFL now, which hot take. He struggles. But you also have to not fumble it constantly. But also, what O-line is he supposed to run behind?
Exactly. Yeah, you have this makeshift O-line. That's why it's so hard to like assess these guys. It's because you're not getting the full assessment when they're playing in front of that. So he needs more touches. I totally agree, but I don't hate the offense. Like when your offense scores 30 and has over like I think we had 450 yards total or close to it. I'm just not like complaining, run the ball more. You can make the argument, run the ball more within the 10-yard line, but I'm not like, oh God, it's 1st and 10 from the 42. We've completed 3 straight passes for first downs. Got to run at the Miles Sanders. Like, no, if you're cooking, let him cook.
461 yards.
Yeah, I don't really have complaints after 461 yards that we didn't run the ball enough, unless you're complaining that they didn't run enough within the 10-yard line.
This stat sheet is so even, other than the final score.
Yeah.
We
kicked field goals.
100. They had 100 more rushing yards and 3 more touchdowns, so that's where the unbalance is. Everything else is the same though.
How many field goals did we kick?
This 3. Font's really small. I don't know. Off the top of your head.
We kicked 3 field goals. They scored 6 touchdowns. We scored 6 times. They scored 6 times. But you kicked 3 field goals. So there you go. That's what happens. We had 3 touchdowns. That's 21. 3 field goals. That's 30. They had 6 touchdowns. That's 42. That was the difference. Which for a team, my 10th grade math tutor would have been so proud of me right there. But for a learning, growing team, gotta expect that a little bit. You're playing the Chiefs, so they did hang in there. Like there were times where you're like, all right, they're right here in this game. They're moving the ball just as efficiently as Patrick Mahomes. So I don't really have complaints on that front. Devontae Smith was awesome. Isn't it great that just like for once in our lives it worked out? Like he was poised and just like presented to us as the greatest route runner since Marvin Harrison.
Don't say this. Don't say all this.
And then he just came in.
He's going to get hurt next week. Don't do this.
I know.
He's going to get hurt.
So far, but no. It never works out where like you say, oh, this guy is good because of X. And then he gets on a Philadelphia sports team and he's good because of X. But he's running routes as a rookie and just cooking people. There are a few instances of plays where he didn't even get the ball, where the corner is like turned and looking the opposite direction of the way that Devontae Smith is breaking. He just has these guys just like covering ghosts because he's such a good route runner. And it just never works out like that where they're like, yeah, draft Devontae Smith because he's a great route runner. He's one of the best route runners since so-and-so. Because usually they get to Philadelphia and they're like, that guy can't run a 10-yard curl route. But Devontae Smith is doing all of these things that we were promised. It's fantastic.
Yeah, usually you get a guy in like he's the next Julio Jones, and then he breaks his thumb.
Sometimes you get like a point guard that's compared to Kyrie Irving, and then he has thoracic syndrome in his shoulder and forgets how to shoot a basketball and stuff like that. Or got guys compared to Magic Johnson, and maybe he is a little bit like Magic Johnson as a passer, but that's about all he can do.
That guy, this city is exhausting.
I know, but I feel like yesterday was not exhausting.
No, if you're mad about this game, just shut up.
You faced one of the greatest offenses of all time and you lost.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You put up 30 points, which is enough to win most football games.
Yep.
I'd say that. I'm comfortable saying it. 30 points is 4 runs in a baseball game. It's enough.
It's 6.
It's
5
that's
to
fair.
6. Yeah.
That's fair. But it's enough most of the time when you're not up against the best offense of all time.
Correct. So if you're scoring 30 against the Panthers coming up, if you're scoring 30 against Vegas coming up, if you're scoring 30 against the Broncos coming up, you should win those games. If you look as competent on offense as you did yesterday going forward, I am fine. Like the schedule is easier. We talked about this last week. You play the Chiefs and you're going to play the Bucs and you're probably going to get your ass kicked. Okay. But all those other games, like you should be in those. And if your offense looked like it did yesterday, we should be very happy.
Yeah, that Panthers defense looks good, though.
Did it yesterday?
The Cowboys offense is also very good.
That's true. This is the perfect segue. All right, so Kevin did his thing. Somehow went to the Eagles game instead of watching the Cowboys game. So it's a little bit of a crossover episode in those terms. So let's go to it here. Let's sponsor it by Odds Crowd. Thank you to Odds Crowd for helping me with the worst gambling day I've ever had in my entire life. It was so bad. But you bet for free on Odds Crowd. So you either win money or if you have the worst gambling day of your life, you lose no money. So let's go to Kevin. Let's get the full breakdown. Thank you to Stateside Vodka and Odds Crowd. All right, Kevin's breakdown of the Dallas Cowboys win over the Carolina Panthers.
Yo, what's up, everybody? It's Kmess. Sorry I'm not there with Aidan and Vince right now for the Birds vs. Boys reaction show to Sunday. I have some family obligations I need to take care of, but I wasn't going to leave you high and dry and not give you some of my analysis and my reaction from Sunday. It's Victory Monday for me. For you, maybe Victory Tuesday or Wednesday, depending on when you're listening to this or watching this, possibly on the Birds vs. Boys YouTube channel or Apple or Spotify, wherever you listen to us. And thank you for listening and watching us always. But so I was unable to watch the Cowboys and Panthers game live on Sunday. You might ask, why? Is that because maybe you don't have direct ticket or it wasn't on? No. I was forced to go to the Philadelphia Eagles game on Sunday with my wife, my sister-in-law, and my brother-in-law, all of whom are Eagles fans. So when this opportunity came up that they wanted to go to a game this season, I said, all right, well, I looked through the schedule and I said, I would love to see Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs play. So that's the game we went to. It was a beautiful day at the link. We were able to sit in the shade the whole time. And might I suggest, if you ever do go to an NFL game, go to one that doesn't have any punts, because this game had no punts between the Eagles and the Chiefs, and it was phenomenal. I walked out of the game and I actually ran into our guy E-Rock, and I was like, wait, E-Rock, I kind of felt like weird in the head because, it was loud in there, and it was loud in there when the Eagles were on offense. So it just shows you how smart these Philadelphia fans are. Extremely loud when the Eagles are on offense and Hurts is trying to quiet them down. And then not so loud when Mahomes and the offense was out there. So a little confusing there for the Philadelphia fans. And the fans in my section were getting very angry at the rest of the 60 or 70,000 that were there. But I ran into E-Rock after and I was like, wait, were there no punts in this game? And I quickly hopped on my phone. I was like, nope, there wasn't. Great day to be a punter. Just chill out on the sideline and relax and enjoy the game. But so I was at that game and I was wearing I just hope both teams had fun shirt with an NFL hat on, because that's all I wanted besides seeing Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes in person. And might I tell you, seeing them in person is electric. Seeing Mahomes throw 5 touchdowns in person is amazing. Seeing Tyreek Hill streaking down the field, scoring 3 touchdowns, doing a backflip in the end zone where we were at, awesome. I suggest going to see that team in person as well. But just as I thought, the Eagles were able to move the ball. I thought they were going to be able to move the ball on this Chiefs defense. Jalen Hurts, you can't blame him on this one. He was moving the ball, did not turn the ball over. It's just when you're going against a Kansas City Chiefs team that is going to put up 40 points probably, you need touchdowns, not field goals. They were able to turn over Patrick Mahomes too. Defensively, it's just they were just a little too much. Not a ton of runs again. There was a run the ball chant that was very, very loud in the stadium, and then bang, Kenny Gainwell rushed touchdown. So it's amazing how the Philadelphia fans can bully people into getting what they want, like Aidan says, and never has failed them. But don't let Aidan talk to you that this team didn't have a chance in the end. Because if Devontae Smith catches that touchdown, well, he did catch it, but he stepped out of bounds. If he didn't step out of bounds before he caught it, there's 5:23 left, and they're only down by 5. There's an opportunity there for the Eagles to rise up and try and win this game. It's empty stats. 7 catches, 122 yards. Yeah, he was torching them all day. But hey, I mean, I can't imagine chasing stats and not chasing wins. That just could never be me. Aidan, if you want to chase stats, 7 for 122. Enjoy it. Congratulations. Fantasy football. It's phenomenal. But it's an L, right? It's a big fat L. So had a lot of fun, ran into a lot of good people. Saw Sean Brace there, ran into Victor Williams, the Philly pod guy. He yelled "Go Birds" at me. That was a bad moment for me. Ran into E-Rock, like I said, had a great time. So was not able to watch the Cowboys game live. I was getting updates from Cowboys insider Matt Yost during the entire game. And then I was seeing it up on the score up on the board. For some reason, my my YouTube TV red zone did not want to work great in the stadium. So I had to catch the tape after the game. And my analysis is they started out slow, obviously, in the first half. But then that third quarter, right? I'm not gonna worry about the first half. They were down 14-13 at half, and then bang. Diggs with 2 more interceptions. I was listening to 105.3 The Fan, G-Bag Nation, on Friday, I believe, and Brian Broaddus asked the guys, yes or no on Diggs having an interception in his 4th straight game to start the season. And I was thinking, I mean, how is that possible, right? It is physically impossible. And then he just does it again. And then a second one, right? And the second interception was so much better than the first. It's just, he's on another level right now. He's completely locked in. I love to see it. I have not seen a Cowboys defensive back play like this since, I'm going to say it, since Deion Sanders. I'm not saying Trevon Diggs is Deion Sanders. Maybe. You never know. Right now, no. But I haven't seen a Cowboys defensive back play like this, especially coming in with such hype, right? There was Byron Jones that came in, right? Never got any interception. Chidobe Awuzie came in here, a 2nd-round pick with high expectations, didn't perform, right? Morris Claiborne moved all the way up into the top 10 to get him from LSU, and he was a bust. So seeing a cornerback taken in the 2nd round by the Cowboys with high expectation, a guy that in his 2nd year is being thrust into the CB1 role and literally traveling with the best receiver on the other teams, coming up with 5 interceptions through 4 games is just, I am on such a high about him. And then there's other guys on the defense, right? Osa Odigizua, the 2nd-round pick out of UCLA. I'm sorry, the 4th-round pick out of UCLA. I mean, I didn't get to watch a lot of UCLA, right? Because they're at night. I watch college football all day. So I didn't get to see a lot of him in college, but the tape I saw, I liked. But he played a lot of end in college. But the Cowboys were able to see a guy who was beefy enough, physical enough, but has that athletic speed that could be disruptive up the middle at a tackle position. And he got another sack, right? He is playing phenomenal. He is going to challenge Neville Gallimore for that starting D tackle spot when Neville Gallimore comes off IR. But I can't wait to see the two of them on the field together. I think it's going to be a dynamic duo. And then another rookie, Chauncey Golston, the defensive end from Iowa, right? He came in with high expectations. The coaches loved what they saw out of him in the spring and in OTAs. But then the day before, during a conditioning drill, before camp starts, Chauncey gets hurt, and we never get to see him all through camp, all through preseason. Didn't get to see him. His second game, he gets a sack. He looked good in his first game. Everybody said he was a power player, but he's got a lot more juice than that. Mark it down right here. He could be another reason why Tank Lawrence is cut after this year. Tank's owed a lot of money. Yes, he's a great run defender. He is a very, very good player. He does a lot more for this team than just get sacks. But that's a huge, huge cap hit he has. And if they're 3-0 right now without him, right? Defense is playing well. So he's another piece. If they re-sign Randy Gregory, and maybe Micah Parsons plays more end, that they don't need to pay that salary. They can move that money somewhere else where the team needs. And then there's Micah, right? Micah played all over the field. I think he played 28 snaps at linebacker, 22 in coverage, 18 at pass rush. He's just all over the field. And that's the type of player he's going to be for this team. Everybody's like, is he a linebacker? Is he a DN? He's just a weapon, right? Position, weapon. That's it. It's kind of like Jalen Ramsey right now, the way the Rams are using him. He's not a cornerback. He's playing Will. He's playing Mike. He's playing safety. He's playing corner. He's all over the field. Wherever they need him in that exact moment is where Jalen Ramsey's playing, and that's what Micah Parsons is going to be for this Dallas Cowboys team. He got another sack. I mean, wasn't his best looking game, right? He didn't look as good as he did maybe against the Chargers and the Eagles, but it's his fourth game ever playing in the NFL, and it's his only fourth time playing football in the last 2 years. He's a freak. I love everything about him. I love what Dan Quinn is doing with this defense. He's evolved. He's not the same exact Dan Quinn stuck in his ways that he was in Seattle and then Atlanta. He's evolving, right? I'm not saying he wasn't a good defensive coordinator in Seattle. He had the Legion of Boom. He won the Super Bowl. He was awesome. He was a good head coach in Atlanta until that 28-3 collapse, and then the whole team has collapsed, and the Falcons are just dead. But I like the way he's evolving this defense, using guys all over the field like Curse and KZ. And now they've also done these last two wins without Keanu Neal. Leighton Vander Esch is playing pretty well. And they're still out without Dorrance Armstrong. Keanu Neal should be back off the COVID list this upcoming week against the Giants, but I think Dorrance Armstrong is still a ways away. So is Neville Gallimore. And we haven't even seen Kelvin Joseph yet, right? I can't wait to see Boss Man Fat, the rookie. They've been doing this with Trevon Diggs and Anthony Brown, Jordan Lewis, right? And Anthony Brown is tied for 5 pass defenses. I think he's like second or third in the league right now. Trevon obviously leads the league in interceptions and in pass defense. I think he has 8 pass defense, 5 interceptions. And then Anthony Brown's second or third on the list with 5, tied with Byron Jones, which that's what Byron Jones does. But Miami stinks. So I'm all in right now. And if you haven't noticed, I've only talked about the defense, right? In positive ways. How unbelievable is that? Now, they gave up some plays they shouldn't have, right? 2 rushing touchdowns for Sam Darnold. You can't do it. Even though Sam Darnold has 5 rushing touchdowns through 4 games. He's the first ever quarterback to do that. Vince Young hasn't done it, right? Steve Young never did it. Cam Newton didn't do it. Nobody. Sam Darnold. And he's balling out. DJ Moore is a freak, right? DJ Moore was having his way with Trevon Diggs in the beginning. And then DJ Moore was also having his way at the end of the game once they pulled Trevon Diggs from the game for back tightness. I hope he's okay. I think he's fine. But they have a good team. They're coached well. They hit hard. That's a Matt Rule team. So I take this win and I run with it. And I run and hide and now get ready for the Giants. Now, the offense, unbelievably efficient day, right, for Dak Prescott. Very, very, very quiet 4-touchdown day. He was 14 of 22, only 188 yards, 4 touchdowns, no picks, QBR of 130. That's like Jameis Winston week 1. But Jameis Winston's like this, right? What are the Saints? We don't know. Every week they're up, they're down, they're up, they're down. Dak is very, very, very steady. And then there's the running game. Ezekiel Elliott, 20 rushes for 143 yards. He averaged 7.2 a carry and a touchdown. Tony Pollard had 10 rushes for 67. He averaged 6.7. This is the formula, guys. This is the 2016-esque formula. If the Cowboys can play defense like they're playing, and then they can have offense like they're playing right now, the last 3 games, being able to be balanced, run the ball. 143 yards for Zeke. He looks like his rookie year again, right? He broke a 47-yard run. When's the last time we saw him do that? I'll tell you when. His rookie year. Okay? He looks fresh. You know why he's fresh? Because he ran 20 times, not 30 times, because Pollard got 10. And Pollard could even get a couple more touches, right? They're using the 2 backs together. They're running the ball, and they're using the pass game to complement the run, even though they have the best wide receiving core in the league, even without Michael Gallup right now. Cedric Wilson, another touchdown, and that unbelievable spin move to get into the end zone. And they have 2 tight ends right now that are catching passes and touchdowns in Jarwin and Schultz, even though Schultz did have a couple scary moments there. Drops, bobbles, didn't get the first down. But I'll forgive him because they got the win, and he's been balling out. And that pass to Amari Cooper, I mean, I think that's the best pass I've ever seen Dak Prescott throw. And he's looked unbelievable. This offense, when they want to turn it on, they won the entire game in the third quarter, right? 23 points in the third quarter. The 2 picks, score. Right after the Panthers missed that field goal, I mean, that's where the whole game changed. And that's when the Cowboys said, not in our house. They put the foot on the throat and they shut it down. So I'm very impressed with this team. I thought the Panthers may be somewhat of a trap game in the middle of the Eagles and the Giants on a 3-game homestand, but they took care of business. I didn't like how they took the pressure off kind of at the end when Trevon Diggs wasn't in, and they sort of let Carolina back in the game. I was fearful they were going to blow a 22-point lead, but they didn't. They held on. They got the win. They're 3-1. If they can win the next game, and the Eagles, I'm telling you what, the Eagles are going to have a tough time with this Panthers team next week in Carolina. They're going to beat up that offensive line for the Eagles. It's not the Chiefs defense they're going to be seeing. This is a much better defense than the Panthers. So if the Cowboys can win against the Giants now, and let's say that will move the Giants to 1-4, and the Eagles as well. I mean, and then the Cowboys would be 4-1. That's a big lead. That's a big lead in the division. I'm excited right now. I got my Victory Monday shirt on. They look good. I'm happy. I love Kellen Moore. I loved on 3rd and 1 with the game on the line to ice the game. They went option from Zeke to Pollard. These are things we would have never seen under Jason Garrett, right? It would have just been smash it up the middle. Chances are they would have got stopped there. They would have punted, and then we would have been sweating out the last couple minutes of that game. But they were able to do a little trickery there, get the first down, and end the game. So I'm going to give it back to Aidan and Vince, or if they're ending the show, not sure where they're putting me in here. But yeah, that's my analysis of being at the Eagles-Chiefs game and then being able to watch the highlights and the tape of the Cowboys-Panthers game. It was a huge win, being 3-1 after losing the heartbreaker in Tampa week 1. I mean, the Cowboys have been in every game. They kind of look to be getting more and more impressive each week. And like I said, they're sort of chameleon-like right now. They can play how they need to play in each game on offense and on defense to win, right? If they need to throw it 55 times a game, they have the weapons to do it. If they can run the ball 34, 35 times a game and only throw it 22 times a game, they can do that as well. So I love what I saw out of the Cowboys against the Panthers. I loved what I saw from the Chiefs when I was there. But I will be back later this week live with Aidan and Vince as we look forward to the Cowboys taking on the Giants at home and the Eagles taking on Carolina in Carolina. John Ellis will be joining us. He is a Panthers insider. We just thought this was the perfect week to have somebody from Carolina on because we're stuck right in the middle of the Panthers playing the Cowboys and now looking forward to them playing against the Eagles. So looking forward to that interview and looking forward to be able to chat with Aidan. But again, stop chasing stats, Aidan. I'm chasing wins. All right, back to you two.
Thank you to Kevin for the breakdown. Don't love the joy, don't love the happiness that's coming from Cowboys fans because their team actually looks legit. Big day in the tailgate lots for him in Philadelphia. Had a great time, as most of us do. So he did his Cowboys breakdown. He'll be absent of the TikTok tonight. We're going to do MVP rankings here in a second. We do have a surprise interview coming up for our Wednesday show as we prepare for the Carolina Panthers. Also, that was Dallas Cowboys' previous opponent. So that's a little hint on who the guest will be. And then we have some more guests coming up in the weeks to come. So new show on Thursday. This one will drop tomorrow, Tuesday. All right, Vince, you ready to do a quick power rankings of TikTok of our MVP rankings?
Yeah, that was a lot of
probably could have cut that down.
Rankings
our power ranked MVPs.
Yeah.
I have found the most inefficient ways possible to say it.
Well, you said power rankings first, and I panicked because I was like, shit, I have players written down.
We'll do power rankings later. But yeah, I have players written down too. I just was like, we're power ranking players. I'm like, wait, I could also just say MVPs. I'm like, all right, my brain's just going to combine them together. All right, so we're doing TikTok tonight, NFL MVPs through week 4. So 3 each, correct? You've got 3?
Mm-hmm.
Got it. All right, I'll start first. My third, I have the girl who grinded on Urban Meyer at the bar on Friday night. The universe is calling Urban Meyer back to college football where he belongs. He's going to take the USC job. That girl was just she was sent by USC. She is a spy. She's an operative from UFC, just trying to get him to come to campus, just speeding up the process.
Isn't there a word for something that you send in as a distraction to
Trojan horse? Go Trojans, fight on, USC. Great play on word.
Thanks. Number 3, I have Matthew Stafford. Team just looks they're I mean, they lost to the Cardinals, but I mean, he was my MVP before the season, he's my MVP now. Number 3. But I think if the Rams if the Rams can put together a playoff run, I think Matthew Stafford has a real shot at MVP.
All right. At 2, I have Matthew Stafford. Higher than you, apparently. So he's top 5 in pass rating, passing touchdowns, passing yards through the first 4 weeks. Hard not to put him in there. And the Rams are 3-1. Clunker yesterday, but still looks good.
Number 2, I have Tom Brady. Was there a more predictable game ever than last night?
No.
It was a great few minutes. I thought the Patriots were going to score and giving Tom way too much time, and it was going to be one of the most historic finishes we've ever seen. Ended up being a boring Tom Brady game-winning drive, but nonetheless, Tom Brady marches down the field to win the game again.
Of course.
Were you awake for that with Ali and Eddie in the group chat?
No.
Just
I woke
watching
up,
them be like,
yeah. They
were just like,
there were 2 people.
They were like, we know what happens.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's like, Allie, did you watch the kick? She's like, of course not.
We've all been there. They've never experienced it, but now they have. All right. At 1, I have Kyler Murray. Hard not to go with Kyler right now. They did beat the Rams. They're 4-0. He's looked impressive. Top 5 in all of these statistical categories as well. And top 5 in rushing yards too. He's been fantastic. The Cardinals have been fantastic. They're putting up points galore. He's been great. Kyler's MVP so far.
Number 1 for me, Evan McPherson. Kid's got ice in his veins. Another game-winning field goal. I mean,
true.
We've been saying it for months. The kid is electric.
I forgot. That was back on Thursday. But, yes, game-winning field goal for Evan McPherson again.
Is that 2 or 3 on the year for him?
That's 2, and they've only won 3 games. They're 3-1 somehow. So
he has won 67% of the Bengals games. I can't
Analytically, that's one way to look at it.
I cannot think of a more perfect definition for most valuable player to his team than the person who has won you 67% of your games.
I cannot argue with that logic. All right, so that's our TikTok for tonight. MVP rankings. We'll be back with another TikTok on our Thursday show. Might do a little power rankings this week. So that's it. Eagles lose. Kind of predicted that. Jalen Hurts, thumbs up. Devontae Smith, thank you, God, for being in our lives. Kenny Gainwell, can't believe we got him in the 5th round. Linebackers, Jesus, please tackle anyone. And Cowboys, another big win. They're looking really good. They've got the Giants this week. This is we're in the danger zone of them really putting a stranglehold on this division. So we'll be back with Kevin this time, not just to pop in. Recording Wednesday, dropping Thursday. We've got an interview that night. We'll be good to go. We will see you then.